Hey guys, I am Arian, the owner of Arian the Notary 24/7 Pro Mobile Notary Signing Services, where we deliver excellent customer service 24 hours, 7 days per week. We travel to you, so don't you move. We come to hospitals, to jails, to courtrooms, to your home, to businesses. We'll meet you in the parking lot as long as there's light. So just give us a call, go to our website, AriantheNotary.com. You can also text or call if you have additional questions at 909-910-4650. Okay, that's all done. Guys, it has been so long and I'm so sorry, but this COVID thing has just been absolutely crazy. I was like, for this video, should I wear a mask? Because I don't want anybody to say, oh, she's not wearing a mask. I'm in the privacy of my own home, so I don't have to wear a mask. But anyway, man, so things are going so well. Yes, business has slowed, but it's still going. But before I get into the video, I have lots of good information that I want to share and tips that I want to continue to give. But I also want to thank all those people who have subscribed, all those people who comment, whether positive or negative. And I always want to refer back to the last video because people make comments and I just kind of want to address some of those and then we'll move forward. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, that means you got to go back and watch the other video. But in the last video, I had someone say, because of my slogan, I always say, don't trust basically a new person with your documents, trust a pro, right? That's just my own personal slogan. After 14 years of business, I can say that I'm an experienced notary and that I'm a pro. Also, for those of you who don't know, I'm a professional athlete. So I'm a professional figure competitor, bodybuilder with the IFBB Federation. So if you know anything about that, you understand that. So that slogan has a double meaning. It's like I'm a pro because I've been doing this for a long time, but I'm a pro because I'm a pro as well. Now, on the other side of it, they said that they felt like it was unprofessional for me to say to customers, don't let an amateur handle your documents, stick with a pro. That's my own slogan and that's my area of expertise. So if I want to say that, I can say that and not understand how they feel, because it's like, well, dang, how does a new person get business if you have all these professionals and these people with all this experience that are saying don't trust a pro? You have to find your own slogan. Just like when I first started, that was not my slogan. My slogan was not don't trust an amateur. It was like, yeah, trust the amateur. You have to find out what works for you. And so your slogan might be, call me, I'll be there whenever you need me because you offer 24 hours. Or come to me, come to me, or I'll meet you anywhere, or we ride motorcycles, or whatever it is that your specialty is, you push that. And then, of course, other people are going to off that, because in the end, this is competition. We're competing against other notaries as well, because it's business in the end. And so you just have to find that thing that works for you, your specialty, the thing that you offer. Like if your specialty is, empathy, and you deal well with like the older generation or people that are in hospitals or convalescent homes, and you say, hey, don't trust someone, an unempathetic notary, trust me, a pro. You do that, and that's what your slogan is, and that's how you build your business. So don't be offended by my slogan. Just figure out what your slogan is, and then you deliver that. Okay? That was one of the questions. Then there was another one. I'm trying to remember what it is, and for the life of me, I can't remember. Because it was about the jail signings and what they were saying, because I made a reference that the person that was in jail didn't know what they were signing ahead of time. And they were saying, how can you do a notary for someone and they don't even know what they're signing? Good question. So in general, most of the time, people will know what they're signing. You usually do some type of confirmation call or something first to determine, what time works best for everyone, what to be expected, have your ID ready, all those types of things. But in jail signings, matter of fact, I think I've had one person who was incarcerated that actually scheduled the appointment. I guess he used his minutes that he had on his books to call me, and that's in 14 years that I've had one person who was incarcerated that scheduled the appointment. Every single other time, and in most cases, they're not scheduled by the inmate because they just don't have the access to, one, finding a notary, being able to call, being able to schedule the appointment. They can't get access to documents unless they're mailed to them. But for the most part, the family and friends and loved ones are the ones that are setting up the appointment. And so therefore, they're the ones who's, putting everything together. And so most people, if they're smart, will be in contact with that person before they schedule all that, because it's a waste of money if they, you go through the whole process and then they don't sign because they never knew what was coming. So a lot of times they will let them know ahead of time, but in some instances they're just taking care of those things and they just feel like, okay, he'll be okay with whatever I schedule. And then you get in there and you just have to then explain like, hey, looks like your family wants you to sign a power of attorney. Are you okay with that? Oh yeah, sure, no problem. My mom, she's handling everything. And it's just, you just go forward with it. And from then on, it's not a problem. Okay, so good question. But in general, most times people do know about it. But in jail signings, that's a little bit of that exception to the rule, just because they don't have all the accesses that the rest of us have. But anyway, moving forward, the purpose of this video, which took me so long to do, please forgive me, is about how to get business as a notary public. Okay, I get this all of the time, especially for brand new notaries and then also older notaries as well. And so I do want to address it. And I actually took notes this time. Usually I don't, I just go off the cuff. But I took notes because I wanted it to be helpful, and I also didn't want this to be a 45-minute video because I just don't have that amount of time. And then also, you wouldn't be able to sign up for mentoring with me. Just for those who don't know, I do offer mentoring. All you have to do is email me, AriantheNotary@gmail.com, and to let me know a good time and date that works for you. And I'll give you 30 minutes of my uninterrupted time where you can just ask me as many questions you want, or you can just allow me to just talk, because as you can see, I have no problem talking. And I'll just give you just general advice or just information in regards to being a notary, the life of a notary, what to expect, all that good stuff. Or we can do a combination of the two. So let me know. But first off, with as far as getting business, most people, or some people, well, let's just start off with those people who have started in the business, but they're just not getting as much business as they want. The thing is, you want to hold on to the business that you have. And I say that because so many people do get calls, but by the way that they handle it and the way that they handle the customer, they lose it. So that's the worst thing you want, is to finally get a customer and then you lose the customer, right? And I say, my first point to that is, do what you say you're going to do. If you set up the appointment for 8 a.m., make sure you're there at 8 a.m. If you say that you're going to print off a document that they email to you, make sure you print off that document. It's a good copy and you bring it with you. So many times notaries just don't hold their word, and then they run into those issues. And of course, that customer doesn't want to use you anymore because you didn't do the simple things that are there. Also, be prepared. Have all of your documents ready, have them already organized, have your bag organized, have blue pens, multiple blue pens. The worst thing in the world is for a notary to show up and say, hey, you have a pen? And then next you know, they're running around the house scrambling, trying to find pens. And then most of the time they don't have blue pens, which is the color usually that everyone wants us to use now. They have black pens. Have your materials, go to Costco, get you a box of, I think I get the big pens that are like, no, G4. I love the G4 pens. And I think I get like 40 or 50 of them at once. As a notary, you're going to go through a ton of pens, so you might as well invest into yourself. Get a ton of pens, keep like 4 of them in your bag, and then that way you have them and you're prepared. So when you get to that table, you sit down, you put your briefcase down, you pull out your paperwork, you pull out your stamps, you line them up in front of you on the table, you pull out pens, you place them in front of everyone, and you just look like you're on top of your stuff. And so from the get-go, you already look professional because you have everything prepared, everything's ready, and they're like, okay, she's got this. And we don't have to worry about stressing like, oh my gosh, I didn't even think to get a pen. Let me see if I can find a pen. I haven't used a pen in forever because, we're in such an electronic world. But all of us are already, you've already taken control of the situation. You've not heightened their stress more than it already probably is. And then you just look like you're on top of your stuff. So be prepared. Also, when you show up, look professional, right? I'm not saying that you have to wear a suit, or ladies, you have to wear heels and stockings and all that kind of stuff, but just marketing, attraction sells, and we all know that. If you, and I'm not saying you have to be a beauty queen or anything of that sort, or you have to be dressed to the nine, but look professional, look like someone who's trustworthy, look like someone who's about their business, because this is your business. Even if it's a small business, and even if it's a new business, this is your business, and you're the face of that business. So you want that to reflect, and you want that to come across. I remember going into Starbucks, because I was with a client. They met me outside of Starbucks, and so I was walking them in so we can find a seat. And like me, like normal, I'm always a heels girl, so I'm gonna have on heels if I have on a sweatsuit, but that's just me. And then I have my briefcase. I look very polished, and I'm walking in with my customers. Of course, they probably have on jeans and a t-shirt or a baseball cap and whatever, but that's on them. But as for me and my business, I present myself in a way that I want them to know, okay, she's professional, right? I'm walking them through, and as I'm walking through, I look to my right, and there's a woman, and she's clearly doing a signing, because they got all the paperwork out, and I can see note or whatever, which is the name of one of the loan documents right there on the table. But she had on this messy like side ponytail. She had on flip-flops. She had on like a tank top, and like her sports bra was hanging out the top of it. Like, she just did not look like she was on top of her stuff. And then on top of that, it just looked like things were just kind of thrown all over the place or whatever. And so from the get-go, I had already made a judgment about this person. Like, man, she does not seem like a person that I would want to trust with my documents, because she just didn't seem like she was on top of her own stuff. And so you don't want to be that person that as soon as you walk in, they're like, oh gosh, I hope everything goes well. I hope she knows what she's doing. I wonder if this is her first time. Just solely off of how you presenting yourself, because that's important. And so even if you just walk in and you don't know nothing about nothing, if you look the part, they're gonna be like, okay, she knows what she's doing. Then of course now you want to follow up with the education that goes along with it. But be on top of your stuff. Present yourself in the way that you would want it to be presented to you. And then all those things are de-stressors, because the customers are already stressed out. They're already dealing with a situation they've never dealt with probably. They don't know how the process works. And they're dependent upon you to know your stuff and to make that process as smooth as possible. And the more smooth that you can make it, and the more carefree, and the more relaxed, and the more, just good of an experience that you can make that for them, the better. And people talk. They will tell their friends, they will tell their coworkers, they will tell everybody if they have a good experience. And that's what you want, and that's how you'll get more business. All right, so that part's out of the way. So now for the new people, it's like, look, if I could just get to that point, I would be good. So now let's talk about getting new business, okay? The first thing I would say is to utilize the platforms that we have. So that's obviously social media, right? We also have, however many friends that we have on Facebook, on Instagram, or whatever the case may be. Post. Let everybody that you know that you're a notary. Are they probably going to use it? Probably not. Most of the business I get are not from people that I knew. But every once in a while, someone may think of you, someone may have a situation, you never know. But the idea is just to post, because you never know who people know. And then also, when you use those hashtags, other people who don't know you are able to view your information and see your posts, and then you may get some business from that. But post. Tag, hey, I'm a new notary, I'm available 24 hours or whatever your hours are. Here's my phone number. Let me know whenever you need any services. I'm available at a moment's notice. Hashtag notary. Hashtag traveling notary. Hashtag loan documents. Hashtag deeds. Hashtag 24 hours. Hashtag mobile service. Hashtag Notary Public. Hashtag loan signing agent. Hashtag NNA, hashtag NSA. Like, you should be the hashtag queen. I will hashtag everything. I will hashtag curly hair, black tank top, all that good stuff. But you want to hashtag, because all those are extensions that you don't have right there in your own circle of friends. But people who use those extensions will be able to access your information. So you definitely want to do that. Post a picture of your car. Post a picture that you would travel in. Post a picture of your notary journal, the clothes, not the people's information. Post a picture of like, oh, I have business cards on the side of my car. So most people have magnets on the side of their car, right? Well, I have, go to Amazon, look for auto business card holder, and it's a magnetic business card that I stick on the side of my car. And so whenever I'm going into places, my cards are right there. So if they wanted to get my information and I'm not at the car, they can just grab a business card. So easy. Put that on your car. If you don't do that, that's on you. That was a tip that I give to everyone that do my mentoring calls, and not normal for just for YouTube, but there it is. That's free of charge for you. Get those. Also post on Instagram. I know it's not a professional place or whatever, but it's all about just letting people know what you do. As a notary, you cannot tell enough people what you do. And always have cars on deck wherever you go. For me, I wanted to start doing more hospital and like rehabilitation signings and deliver services there. So I went and I Googled every single senior home, every single rehab facility that was in my area, and I took a day. I have marketing days, and I still do this, and I make a list of all the places I'm going to go. It may be 30 or so different places, and I go and I show up and I say, hi, my name is Arian. I'm a notary. I'm available 24 hours. Is it possible for me to just leave some cards just in case someone may need a notary? Sure, most of the time they take them, and I give them a stack. Like, I get my business cards from Vistaprint so I can order in numerous bulk, and I give them a nice at least 20 cards, and I leave them there, and I leave them with the front desk person. And then it's also good to include like a Starbucks $5 gift card, or maybe some type of little snack or treat or something like that, because that's the person that is going to be in contact with the customers that are going to come up that may ask for a notary. So take care of them, give them a gift, give them something, bribe them, do what you have to do, because you want them to remember you. And if someone says, hey, do you have a notary? Like, oh, you know what? I do have these cards. She was just in here the other day. I've never used her before, but maybe you can give her a call. They are your advocate, so make sure you take care of your advocates. The other thing is create brochures. If you want to do loan signings, go to escrow offices, go to lenders, go to mortgagers, and have your brochures. Most notaries will not create a brochure. You ask a notary, they usually have business cards, and that is it. Oh, they might have that little lanyard that they give you or whatever when you take your class from the NNA. And I know who was at loan classes, notaryclasses.com. That's who I always did all my certifications through. Love them. But they gave me a badge. Never wore the badge, but I had a badge. And on my first few, I wore the badge, and then I just realized this is kind of cheesy. For me, it didn't work, but it also just identifies you. It may make your customers feel safe. And so it was a good idea. I understand it. Just me, it just probably didn't go with my outfit, and that's probably why I didn't do it. But you have to let people know what you do. But most people, like I was saying, most notaries don't have brochures. They just have their business cards. So when you go into an escrow office and you're like, oh, give me your card. You're like, oh, here's a card, but here's my brochure. And you have, your services, what you do, your availability, your time, and whatever else that you want to put on that information. It's like, wow, this girl has definitely taken the extra step, and you have something that other notaries don't have. And so those are things that you do to set yourself apart, to get people to choose you over another notary. Just an example, just something I did and worked. Up to you if you want to try it. The other thing is answer your phone. Oh my gosh, I get so many calls that by the time they get to me, I don't know why they didn't call me first, but anyway, I get so many calls, and the first thing they say is, oh my God, you answered. Yeah, I always answer. You have no idea how many notaries I've called before I got to you. And I'm like, wow, really? And they're like, yeah, I've called at least 15 notaries and they didn't answer the phone. Notaries, your phone is your lifeline. Your phone is your new best friend now as a notary. You need to answer every single call that comes through. Your phone should literally be glued to your hip. Well, actually the carrier, because you need to have the phone to be able to put up to your ear. But you need to have your phone at all times. You should not be missing any phone calls unless you're in with the customer. But then at that time, as soon as you get out that house, you're on that phone calling that person back. The number one reason why notaries don't get business is they don't answer their phone. answer your phone. That is the easiest thing you can do. Secondly, when you answer it, be a professional. I always suggest, you call around to, other notaries just to kind of find out what their fees are and all that kind of stuff or whatever. And when I call, they'll just pick up and say, hello? Is this Tasha's notary services? Yeah, this is Tasha. Whoa. All right. Well, they're not going with my call. But how unprofessional is that? You just say hello? And I get it. Sometimes you don't know if it's a professional call or if it's a personal call. And then my thing is, then treat everything as professional, because you never want to come off as unprofessional. When you call an established business, you pick up and they'll say, hi, this is Walmart. They announce who they are. They announce who they're representing so that people know right off the bat, I have the right phone number. Because what ends up happening is I'm like, is this so-and-so? But when they call, have your slogan together. Mine is, hi, AriantheNotary, how can I help you? Right? Every single time. Matter of fact, my mother will call like, AriantheNotary, how can I help you? Arian, this is your mama. Oh, hey mom, how you doing? And then you just switch it. Your friends will understand, but your customers do not. So you'll need to, if you don't have separate phone lines, answer every single call as if it's professional. Also, that looks good when escrow and lenders and title and mortgagers and realtors and all those people call you, because it's like, okay, this girl is ready for business because you answered your phone as if you're ready for business. All that, hello, yeah, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, please, you guys, professionalism is key here. And there's so many notaries that are just not professional, that if you're just professional, you're going to take yourself up levels in this business for that very reason. The other thing is when you're new, okay, be your own operator, got that. Be helpful, right? Be willing to answer the 13,000 questions that they have, that their customers asking, because they've never done this before. And we tend to, as you go along in business, and I'm sure like my more seasoned notaries will know, that you're just like, look, okay, I don't have all day to be on this phone call with you while you ask me a ton of questions that you're just going to re-ask me when I get to the appointment. As a new notary, you don't have that liberty. You must be patient. You must be empathetic. And when they start going into their long story of what's going on and why they need it, and they talk to this person, they talk to that person, you just have to listen, because you want to be that good listener. You want to have that empathy, because you want their business, and because one of the things that I got from a customer is especially when I'm doing like hospital signings, and I'm dealing with people who are about to go into surgery, and everybody is on high. Like, they're all worried, is this person going to make it out of surgery? The emotions are high. They're fighting with each other and all that kind of stuff. And you have to be that calm person. And then you also have to take care of the person who's in the hospital, and not take care of them as if you're going to, change their bed sheets or anything like that, but you have to take care of them mentally. So when I talk to them in a different way. I'm very empathetic. I'm very patient. I'm very light when I speak to them. And numerous times I get people to say, oh my gosh, I love the way that you handled my mother. We were all so stressed out, but I loved how patient you were. I loved how you just listened to her. I know she's talking really low and really slow and she didn't have a lot of energy, but you were so patient. And those things go a long way, and they remember that. And guess what? And because it's coupled with a situation that's so like up here and so fresh on their mind, and it's dealing with a loved one that they really truly care about and they're worried about losing, they are never going to forget you in that situation. And if anyone ever goes through that around them, they're going to be like, oh no, I have the perfect girl. She's so patient. She was so kind. She was so sweet. She was right on time and all of that. And she was so professional. They're going to remember you every single time. So when you're a new notary, it's even more important that you're as patient as you possibly can, that you're empathetic, that you're a great listener, and that you do all those things. Also, you have to be willing. When I first started, oh my God, it was so taxing. But I was so excited to finally get a customer that I will travel an hour and charge my regular signing service fee, because I was just excited and happy to get business. Also, I just needed to have that experience. And so when you're a brand new notary, you can't have all these, I'm not doing this and I'm not doing that. You have to be willing and you have to be flexible. You have to be willing to go ahead and gas up the car and drive as far as you need to at whatever time. I did signings at 6 a.m. and at 11 p.m. and all of that. And you just have to be willing to do that. And when they see that you're that notary that will go above and beyond, that's good, and that's information that you can transfer. That can be your slogan. I'm the notary that goes above and beyond. Whatever time you call me, I'm there. Yes, my answer is yes, right? So you have to figure out what you can do. But as a new notary, you have to be willing to do whatever. And obviously within reason, okay? Reason. But what I'm saying is, like for me, I'm like, okay, if it's past, a certain time, a certain distance or a certain time, I charge more for that. And then I also have my other notaries that go out, and that's when I would dispatch it to someone else or whatever the case may be. And so, but that's where I am now. But when I first started, oh my goodness, you could call me at any time of day. I could have been in the middle of surgery myself, and I'd be like, hold on, doctor, I got to run and do this notary signing. I only get 2 calls a week, so I'm going to make sure I pull through when those things happen. The other reason why you want to do this, and goes to my next point, and then my final point, and I'm going to end this video because this is getting so long, is that do not be afraid to ask for reviews. Reviews. In my area, I have the highest number of reviews in my area. Why? Because I ask. It does not hurt you when you get done and you know you've done your thing. You came in professional, you look good, you look professional, you set up in a professional way, you answered all their questions, you were empathetic, you were on time, you executed, the whole service with professionalism, you were friendly, and they were, they seemed like they were feeling you, and you guys had like a good vibe and a good interaction or whatever. When it's done, to say, hey, you know what, is there any way that you could just take like 5 minutes after this is done just to write a review about my service? It would really help my small business. Most people will say yes. Now, most people after they say yes don't do it. But you have to ask everyone, and with the hopes of them going on and doing it. Now, what I do is I follow that up with is once they tell me yes, as soon as I get out the car and I get home, or even before then, I will shoot them a text. Hey, thank you again so much for your service. I really appreciate it. You trusted me with your valuable documents. You said you'd give me a review. It should only take you a second. Here's the link. And I give them a link so that all they have to do is click on it, and they can just write in there like, Arian is the bomb, or whatever they're going to say. And I make that so simple. And it's also a reminder to write me a review. So many people miss out on this absolutely wonderful way of marketing their business is just through reviews. So many people, regardless of what you say, regardless of what you do, regardless of how you look, they feel like, okay, of course you're going to say that about yourself because it's yourself. But when you have reviews and you have other people writing that, and they go on there and they see 255-star reviews and they're all saying positive things about you, now you can pretty much say like, you know what, I feel like I can trust her. So for my new notaries, make sure you ask everybody to write you a review. Then remind them with a thank you text. Then send them a link so that you make that as simple as possible. If you haven't already done this, go back to your text, go back to your phone calls, and just call back up some of your previous customers and say, hey, you know what? I didn't get to ask you this, but can you please write me a review? It'll really help my small business grow. That's my slogan. So I'll give it to you. You can take it. I'm still going to use it, but you do that. Would you just take a few seconds to write me write me a review to make my small business grow? It really helps out. That's what I say. And people will do it 9 times out of 10. Even if they just go through and don't write anything and they just put 5 stars, yay, thank you. Then after that, go back to that post and say thank you. Oh my gosh, wow, thank you so much. I'm glad that you enjoyed your experience. Wow, I really take all of my customers serious. Oh, they said, she was right on time. Absolutely, I understand your time is valuable. Respond back to those people, because the people that are reading those reviews are reading what they say, and they're reading what you say. So those are just a few tips to grow your business. Answer your phone. Be professional. Dress professional. Post about your business. Tell everybody that you know about it. Create business cards. Put them on your car. Create brochures. Tell everyone that you know about it. And then don't be afraid to ask people to write you a review. Okay? Woo! Whew, that was a mouthful. I hope that was helpful. I wanted to give you a good amount of advice and tips for those new notaries so that you can move forward and hopefully feel confident in what you're doing. Please be safe out there. Wear your mask, protect yourself, love yourself. Thank you so much. I'm Arian the Notary, and I'm checking out.